Up the points and wow the crowd. What do this year's talented Slam Jammers have in store for us? Stick around and find out. The Slam Dunk competition is coming at you right after this. The King High School in Middle Village, New York, along with Tim McCormick. I'm Chris Marlowe, set and ready for our Slam Dunk competition. And this is something you know about, Tim.
Yeah, I spent most of my career getting dunked on by some of the greatest dunkers in NBA history.
3 dunk attempts. The judges' scores range from 8 to 10. 4 highest advance. Our judges are elite. Sunny Hill. Out of the Sunny Hill Basketball League, Howard Garfinkel, 5-star camp legend. Jason Collins from the New Jersey Nets. Richard Jefferson from New Jersey. Teresa Witherspoon, the NCAA champion and gold medalist. Eric Crouch, the Nebraska quarterback. Walt Frazier, New York Knicks, and of course Jerry Rice. Raymond Felton is our first competitor. He's headed to North Carolina. And Tim, you've always said that the smaller players have an advantage in a dunk contest.
Well, I think they have a huge advantage unless they miss. Why? Because with the short guys, it looks so much more impressive. They get to use their athleticism. And the one thing that's really important, last year we saw a ton of guys miss their dunks early. They never had a chance to advance. It's so important to be able to stay around for the late rounds.
Raymond Felton is a scoring machine. 6'2", 190, averaged 30 points a game at Latta High School. 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and he got that one through.
And Matt Doherty has to be thrilled with the transfer of Brian Morrison, one of their point guards. It's a lot of minutes available, and the guy he's going to remind you of, he has Baron Davis-like skills.
So we hear the buzzer. That could be the end of Raymond Felton. He has had 3 attempts. He got 1 to go down, which was very, very impressive.
Raymond will have 1 more dunk.
Looks like he's going to get 1 more dunk attempt. Now this is when you better bring out your best stuff. Something nobody's ever seen before. Get a little innovative and bring some power.
Whoa! Jerry Rice liked it. Jerry Rice gave it a 10.
At number 2, white and red did something very special there. Strong delivery. Something that you and I know nothing about. I really like this kid, though. He plays hard. He's very mature. And when the Tar Heel fans check out his game next year, you're going to see a no-nonsense approach. He's going to be battling Adam Boone, their fine point guard, for that lead guard spot in North Carolina. You've got to believe that he's not going to be accepting of not making it to the NCAA. And a guy that you're going to see a lot of as well in Tar Heel blue, Rashad McCants, one of the premier athletes here involved in the McDonald's All-American game and the Sprite Slam Jam.
Whoa! Rashad McCants up high on his first attempt. Judges agree, 9s for McCants.
Now, Richard Jefferson only gave him an 8. Why? Because Richard Jefferson could probably do that dunk just as well. Richard's going to be hard to impress. Now, actually, Rashad was telling me that on Friday, he slightly injured his knee, and there's a little trickery from Elijah Ingram. Go ahead and blame it on the pass.
So keep in mind, if you're scoring at home, it is the total of the 3 dunks, the 3 attempts. So if you miss one, that does hurt. McCants again.
We already mentioned Rashad, Ray Felton, also Sean May from the state of Indiana is in this game, and he's going to be playing in North Carolina next year as well.
McCants 25 points a game at the New Hampton School in New Hampton, New Hampshire.
Rashad was actually telling me today that it was such a great thing having the ladies involved in this game. You know what I've heard? I've heard that all the boys were on their best behavior this week, trying to make sure they watch their language and their behavior in front of the girls.
So the score for McCants, we believe, is 193. Felton got 160. So McCants has the early lead. And shaking and banging is Hassan Adams, a 6'4" shooting guard from Westchester High School in Los Angeles, one of the top high schools in the nation. He's heading to Arizona to play for Lute Olson. I'm not so sure Lute likes the shake and bake so much.
Now get it out of your system now, Hassan. But remember last year, it takes a little showmanship. It was David Lee, who's at Florida, that did some tricky dunks. He got a little bit funky out there, and that was what it took. Wow.
Hassan. Now let me correct one thing I said. You get 3 scoring dunks. If you miss one, you get a redo. So you have 3 scores to take you to the next round.
Chance for Hassan to get some major time next year.
Oh! He is shaking and baking. Look out, Lute. Look out, Lute Olson. Here comes Hassan Adams.
Jason Gardner's leaving the Wildcats. How do you like a backcourt with Salim Stoudemire and Hassan Adams next season?
Adams, keep in mind, is only 6'4". He's got 153 points on 2 dunks so far. Off the glass. Oh, he missed it.
You see, that's a critical error because with his first 2 dunks, he did plenty of work to advance. Why take a risk with a very difficult dunk?
Well, you want to pile up the points.
Very nice.
He jams one through. If you get the redo, you might as well go for a tough one. And look at that. It used to be the Mexican hat dance.
Hey, my friend Adams has some Vince Carter-like elevation in his game.
233 points for the future Wildcat, Hassan Adams. So now the players are loosened up a bit.
I talked earlier about how it's an advantage for some of the shorter dunkers because it looks so impressive. Chris Bosh is a big man. He's very athletic. He's a great elevator, but his dunks will not look quite as impressive as the shorter players.
Let me give you the numbers on Bosh. You see it, 6'10", 205. Played at Lincoln High School in Dallas. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks. Headed to Georgia Tech. Going to be a Techster. Let's see what he can do. I tell you what, if you're a tall guy, 6'10", you got to pull up your feet when you dunk. Pull up the feet and give the illusion. And Bosh, a rather ordinary left-hand cradle jam, and the crowd giving him some boos.
You know who's the greatest tall dunker that I ever saw? How about Larry Nance?
Yeah.
Larry did some sick stuff.
Only 8s. The score to beat is 233. Bosh got 64 on his first dunk.
This year, Chris won a national title in Dallas with his high school team. 40-0 record. Paul Hewitt's got to be very excited to bring him along.
And he missed it, so you only get 1 redo, so he's going to get a big goose egg for his second dunk. So Bosh in trouble now. He's got to get 10s on this one. Oh! That's not a bad look at it. If he could just put that baby through. Chris Bosh. The judge is saying, what do we give him if he happens to nail that? Well, let's see. Is that it for Bosh? It is. Bosh is out. You've seen 4 of the great young high school basketball players in America. And we're going to continue with the slam dunk competition at the Sprite Slam and Jam right after this. This is the Sprite Slam Jam. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the McDonald's All-American High School Boys Basketball Game. The 2002 McDonald's All-American Game will be held Thursday at Madison Square Garden at 8 Eastern on ESPN. McDonald's alumni represent some of basketball's greatest players, including former and current NBA and NCAA superstars Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Nick Collison, Jason Williams. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And if you're in the New York area, tickets are still available to see all these great players at the McDonald's All-Star Game. So we're set and ready. 4 dunkers have gone. And now, Michael Thompson, a 6'11" center from Providence Catholic High School in New Lenox, Illinois. His first dunk attempt. He's headed to Duke. He'll replace Carlos Boozer. And he has got some power. Now, Tim, you have said big guys have trouble in these kinds of competitions.
I definitely think so, because, you know, when a 6-foot guy elevates and dunks the ball, it makes a statement. You hear the boos from the crowd. It's just not a sexy, exciting thing to see a big guy just go up there and power dunk. But I'm going to tell you what, next year in the ACC, if you value your fingers, when Michael Thompson goes to the hole, you better back off.
The scoring right now, Adams has the lead with 233 points. McCants at 209. Felton at 151. So you get one redo. You get 4 dunks total, max. Thompson's got to make one here. Oh, yeah, and he rips one down and hangs on the rim for emphasis. And the judges say, hey, no creativity, Tim McCormick.
You're going to see that in a normal game. Dunk contests are made for the spectacular. Do something that nobody's seen before.
You know, I'll tell you what, Michael Thompson, if he ever gets in another dunk contest and he rethinks it, you got to rip down the rim and take the backboard with you to get a big score here.
If you rip the rim off the backboard and you got glass everywhere, you're going to get a 10 for that.
I'll tell you what, still a pretty good score for Michael Thompson. He's got 192. So if the scores were total right now, that would move him into the final. Remember, 4 advance. So he's in 3rd place right now. Moving right along, Amare Stoudemire, 6'10", 245. He's not sure where he's going next year. Could be Memphis, could be right to the NBA.
And to give you an idea how he envisions himself, says he's got a little Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett combination in his game. So obviously he's not worried about a confidence standpoint.
Now, the key to move on, you got to make your 3 dunks. Oh, that's a beauty. That's a big one. And he's going to get some 10s. Everybody gives him a 10. Sonny Hill has to open his eyes. Sonny giving him a 9. Come on, Sonny. My gosh. 79 points out of 80 for Amare Stoudemire. Now, keep in mind, though, he's already missed 1. So he's got to make the next 2 in order to advance.
And at this point, he's got the crowd. He has the judges on his side. Put the ball in the hole with a little authority.
Amare Stoudemire, that's going to get, even Sonny gives him a 10 on that one. Okay, Sonny, 10s all around. Let's see, is that a perfect 80? The first perfect score of this Sprite Slam and Jam. That's a beauty.
All right, if you don't mind, I'd like to revise my earlier comment about how big guys don't look as good dunking at 6'10". Boy, he combines the athleticism.
Now, keep in mind, scores do not carry over. He's in the final. He's in the final. He's just got to make a dunk here, Tim. Would you recommend something conservative? Yeah, he's pretty smart. He goes, whoa! I tell you what, 9s and 10s for the dunk, but the landing, you got to give him a 3. So Amare Stoudemire, the star of the preliminary round, and he is a confident young man. You talked with him excessively. Well, he listened. You talked.
You know, it really stuck out to me. At 6'10", his hobby is golf, except he has trouble finding clubs. If he goes to the NBA, I don't think he'll have any trouble getting a nice set of golf clubs for himself.